What if I were to tell you that one of the most beloved characters in all of Arcane, Silco, was actually never meant to be a fan favorite at all? Silco, being such a beloved character to the fandom of Arcane, was actually very shocking to Christian Link and the people who wrote Season 1 of Arcane. And that is because both the motivations and inspiration for creating the character of Silco and what panned out on screen were two very different things. Before I continue with this video, however, I have to give a big thanks to Gozapunk, who actually first informed me of this fact and is what inspired this video. Both Christian Link on his pitch for Season 1 of Arcane and the writers who gave multiple comments about this on Reddit confirmed that the inspiration for Silco was the character by the name of Sivangali. Sivangali being the main antagonist of a book released in 1894 called Trilby. And in order to show you all the connections between this story and Arcane Season 1, I'm going to quickly summarize the key events that happen in the story. For some background, the main character goes by the name of Trilby O'Farrell, and she is an up-and-coming musician. And one day, she meets two different musicians by the name of Gecko and Sivangali. The Englishman Gecko and Trilby become friends. Sivangali tries to persuade Trilby to let him train her voice, but she finds him repulsive and even frightening. She and another character, Little Belil, fall in love, but his scandalized relatives get her to promise to leave him. She leaves Paris with her little brother, who later dies of scarlet fever. Then Trilby falls under Sivangali's influence. He hypnotizes her and transforms her into a diva called La Sivangali. Under his spell, Trilby becomes a talented singer, performing always in a beautiful trance sense. And then 5 years later, the character who she left, Little Billy, is a famous painter. He and another character recognize Trilby as she performs at a concert, and while she sings beautifully, she does not appear to be in good health. Shortly before another performance, Gecko suddenly turns on Sivangali and slashes him with a penknife. At the concert, Sivangali is stricken by a heart attack and is unable to induce the trance. Trilby is unable to sing in tune and is subjected to laughing and hoots. Not having been hypnotized, she is baffled. Though she can remember living and traveling with Sivangali, she cannot remember anything of her singing career. As she leaves the stage, Sivangali dies. Trilby is stricken with a nervous affliction. Despite the efforts of her friends, she dies some weeks later, staring at a picture of Sivangali. Little Billy is devastated and dies shortly afterwards. Some years later, Taffy, who has married Little Billy's sister, meets Gecko again and learns how Sivangali had hypnotized Trilby and damaged her health in the process. Gecko reveals that he had tried to kill Sivangali because he cannot bear to see Trilby hurt during their awful rehearsals. So to make a long story short, this story follows a man, Sivangali, grooming a younger woman, making her into what he believes is perfection to the point where she is completely gone once it's all said and done. There is also a heavy-handed tone of anti-Semitism, but truthfully, I am not educated enough on this topic, so I'm going to step away from it, and I encourage you to check out other creators who may talk about this. But as you can see, there are some obvious connections between Arcane Season 1 and the book Trilby, and Christian Link himself stated while pitching Season 1 of Arcane that Silco was a Sivangali archetype. And this makes so much sense when you take into account how shocked everyone was that so many fans related, loved, and understood Silco. The original goal for Silco was not to create a messed up father figure who's trying his best in his own messed up way. He was intended to just be a groomer, someone who was manipulating and in a way hypnotizing Powder into becoming Jinx. And in these screenshots that I'm showing you on screen right now, these are writers talking about the creation of Silco. And they are using the same language that is used to describe Sivangali when talking about how they started creating him. This was not a character you were supposed to love. This was not a character you were supposed to care for. This is not a character that you were meant to sympathize with. But then that begs the question, why was he written in such a way that we ended up sympathizing with him? And now, from this point forward, this is all headcanon. This is all stuff that I just personally believe from connecting the dots. I believe that in both the creation of Season 1 and Season 2 of Arcane, there was a categorical fracture between what the producers were intending and what the writers ended up creating. Maybe it was some form of miscommunication, maybe it was the writers and the producers not being on the same page in terms of what they were meant to create, but the original goal for the character of Silco and what we ended up getting couldn't have been any more different. And again, my personal belief is one of the reasons Season 2 of Arcane is so catastrophic is the producers got way more power than they had in Season 1, which would lead to any writers who had a different vision for the ending of Arcane and the ending of Season 2 being cut from the team because, well, their vision didn't align with the producers. Again, I have no concrete physical evidence for this. This is just what I feel from connecting the dots. However, there is proof that many people were cut from the writing team in the creation of Arcane Season 2. Now, to take this a step further, I want to show you what Sivangali is supposed to look like. As you can see, he is quite angular and pointy looking. He also mainly dresses in suits and is quite slender looking, much like our character, Silco. You can also see from this poster that even their poses are similar to the way Silco and Powder first meet at the end of episode 3, with Silco physically above Powder with one hand behind his back, looking down on her. And to further this point even more, at the end of the novel, Svengali is slashed across the face. Do you know who else is slashed across the face in Arcane? Silco. So to kind of summarize my points, the inspiration for the fan-favorite character Silco, who's positively impacted hundreds of people around the world, is a manipulative groomer, whose character arc is meant to mirror Silco's. Everything down from two friends having a feud to the character design. And to make matters worse, this character has heavy ties to anti-Semitism. But ironically enough, this actually ended up backfiring on them. And I personally believe this is due to the fact that the actual writers for Season 1 had a very different vision of what Arcane should be. And what makes this so unfortunate is once you know this information, it may taint the character of Silco for you. I've spoken to quite a few people who have discovered this information and felt the same way. But for me personally, I just find it so ironic. Because regardless of the inspiration or motivations for the character, Silco is Silco, and the impact is the impact. And that is why no matter how corrupt the producers of Arcane, both Season 1 and Season 2 were and are, the impact will never change for me because clearly the writers had a different vision. Hi, for some of you this might be the first time seeing my face, so hello, this is what I look like. So the main reason I'm coming on here is just to say thank you for all of the massive support I've been getting over the last few weeks. My channel has really blown up more than I thought it would in such a short amount of time. I'm here to tell you that because it was requested a few times, I have started a Patreon. Now, you don't need to join, it's only if you really want to and you want to support me. The main reason I'm creating it is I want it to be a place where we can really get to know each other and really talk about the future of this channel. I want my Patreon supporters to be less of viewers and more like my actual friends. People that I can talk to in Discord, people that I can DM on different social medias, and actually talk about where the future of my channel can be. Because as far as I'm concerned, building a strong channel, what is key is having a strong community. And in order to do that, I need to know what kind of content you guys want and what kind of content you think that I should make. So yeah, if you want to go support me there and be really, really cool and show me some extra love, there is a Patreon there. I'm going to be posting on there weekly as well. And till next time, thank you guys for watching, thank you for joining, and I'll catch you tomorrow on my next video. Peace.